Can you speak English? If you can speak English, then what do we call this image in English? What about this one? So in today's video, I've got 10 images that I'm just gonna pop them up, and your work is to name these images. Yes, in English. I am gonna be giving you clues here and there, but hey, if you can name these images correctly in English, which I highly doubt, then your English is top notch and you can actually speak English. So are you ready to put your English to the ultimate test? Let's go. First image you're gonna name is this image. What do we call this in English? And I know you're thinking, oh my god, this is a vegetable. Yeah, it's a vegetable. It's not cauliflower. It's not kales. No, it is not cabbage. It's not with a letter B. Okay, so what do we call this in English? So this is called a broccoli. A broccoli. If you thought it was a broccoli, then your answer is correct. This is broccoli. The next image to name is this one. What do we call this in English? This is something you use on a daily basis when you're getting dressed and your hair is messed up and you reach out for it and you do your hair real quick. What do we call it in English? I know almost everyone watching this video, including you, have used it. So what do we call it in English? Start with the letter C. C. Try. This here is a comb. A comb. If you said comb, you are correct. The next image to name is this one. What do we call this image in English? If you've been to a wildlife tour, I'm pretty sure you've seen one of your guides pop this one out and like look at some animals at the distance horizon with it. It is something that we use to look at things which we cannot see. We just slightly far from our eyesight. It also starts with a letter B. What do we call it? These are binoculars. Binoculars. And yes, it's not binocular. It's binoculars. Just like scissors. It's in a pair. So we say binoculars and not binocular. Let's move to the next image. The next image is this one. Can you name this image in English? If you can, what do we call it? And I know you're thinking, oh my god, this is a merry-go-round. No, it is not a merry-go-round, and neither is it a carousel. It is not a seesaw, y'all. Try to think. This is called a Ferris wheel. A Ferris wheel. Okay? The next image I am gonna ask you to name is this one. What do we call this one in English? How do we call it in English? Yes, this is a kitchen tool. It is used to separate liquid substances from solid substances in the kitchen. Let's say, for instance, tea. When you've made your tea and you have used tea leaves that are not in tea bags, then you can use this one to separate the tea from the tea leaves. So when you drink your tea, it is smooth. You don't have to spit out the tea, okay? So it starts with the letter S. How do we call it? I've given you more than enough clues. So how do we call this in English? This one is called a sieve. A sieve. A sieve. Let's move to the next image. The next image is this one. What do we call this thing in English? Yes, this here is a chef's heart. How do we call a chef's heart in English? It has a name. It's not just a chef's heart. A chef's heart has a name. I think this kind of makes it special just because it has a name and it's like a chef's heart. Yeah, it starts, and just to give you a clue, it starts with a letter T. Oh my god, if you get this one, then I am so sure you're gonna get the rest. What is this called in English? It is a chef's heart is called a toque. A toque. If you didn't know, a chef's heart is called a toque. Now you know. I'm pretty sure that you did not get this one correct. If you got this one correct, let me know in the comment section now. I doubt if any of you watching this video got this one correct. Let's go to the next image. The next image is this one. How do we call this one in English? Yes, this one is also used in the kitchen, mostly to prevent our clothes from getting stained, maybe by the soap, or maybe just to hold some kitchen objects. That's why most of them normally have like a pouch or maybe like a pocket in front of them. So what do you call these ones in English? They start with the letter O. They start with letter O. If you said overall, then you are correct. But you have to specify this here is a kitchen overall. Kitchen overall. I'm sure most of you got this one right. Let's move to the next image. The next image is this one. How do we call this one in English? You know it. You use it in the toilet. When your toilet is blocked or maybe your sink is blocked, you rush for it and you use it to pump the toilet to unblock the toilet or maybe to unblock the sink. What do we call it in English? Start with the letter P. P. This one here is called a plunger. A plunger. I know most of you will not get this one correct, but this one here is called a plunger. So the next time your sink or your toilet is blocked, just say, "Can you get me the pump?" Say, "Can you get me the plunger?" It's not a pump, it's a plunger. Next image is this one. Can you name this one in English? Yes, yes, yes. This one here is also used in the kitchen, mostly when you're baking, mostly when you're using the oven. So this one here is called an oven mitt. An oven mitt. Let's move to the last image. The last image is this one. This is not a big spoon, okay? This one is used in the garden. So what is it called? It starts with the letter S. Let's catch up in my next challenge. Bye bye.